for legalizing it. So we need to look at the economics of prohibition, and then also the economics of hemp. Hemp farmers need a new crop. We need another profitable crop. And hemp is very profitable because you can make so many different things out of it. It's so versatile that makes the price a lot more. It allows farmers to make more money from it. The problem is right now we have to import. All these products came from either China, Europe, or Canada. So the prices are higher. People right now will say, I recommend everybody go out and buy hemp products right now. But people say, well, it's more expensive, it's too expensive, more expensive than cotton or even soy products. And while it is more expensive, that's because we have to import everything, we still need to buy those hemp products because the more we buy, the price will come down. As the demand goes up, hopefully the price will go down because they'll be producing all these products. So it's our duty to buy as much hemp as possible. And this is a really bad graph, but this is hemp. They grew 8,000 acres of hemp in Canada last year. In America, we grew 200 million acres of corn, soy, wheat, and cotton. 200 million acres. That's 20,000 times as much of those crops as hemp. And there's still a lot of hemp products that are coming out on the market, even though there's so few acres being grown. So you can imagine, if we could grow just a fraction, even 1 million acres of hemp, geez, that would be awesome. The price would come down on a lot of these products, a lot more products would be made, and everybody would, the environment would be a lot happier about it too. So think about that. And another thing to think about it is we're on the ground floor of the hemp industry. If you want to be on the ground floor of anything, this is it. Because they're not growing very many acres of it worldwide, but if this does catch on, hopefully it will one of these days, it's going to be huge. And all these products are going to be making it in huge scale. So if you can come up with a good product, you can get in on the ground floor of a very good thing. Do we have any communication or journalism students here? Write about him. Produce a nice glossy brochure about all the things about him. Create a movie. Do a documentary on him. And talk about, study the reluctance, the media reluctance. A lot of times you'll hear about in the media, essential fatty acids are really good for you, and you need all your essential fatty acids. So go eat some salmon. That's what they say. But no, eat hemp food. Hemp seed has a lot more essential fatty acids than salmon, and it's a lot better for you. So, but they never include that hemp part in their articles. So we need to help correct the media on that. So let them know. Write letters to the editors. Open the debate. One thing that I've noticed is you can't logically debate prohibition. You can't say patients shouldn't have medicine. You can't say a farmer shouldn't be able to grow this crop, and you can't really say that people should be arrested just because they're smoking marijuana. So the logic of that whole debate just doesn't stand up. But the media does not allow that debate to happen because they know they can't win the debate. You never see a drug warrior and Ethan Nadelman here talking about the issues because Ethan would just kill him. So that the media knows that, but we need to somehow open this media up, open the debate, because I know we can win the debate once we can talk about it more. Legal studies. If we have any legals in the crowd, we need to determine why. You need to prove that prohibition is unconstitutional. I believe it is. We just need to figure it out. I mean, the courts really have been ruling against us over the years. They just don't see the logic. And I guess because they're part of the power structure, so they won't rule in our favor. We need to come up with a legal argument that proves that prohibition is unconstitutional. This is the first American that was arrested in 1937, who lived in Colorado. And so just, study why are politicians, why will they not come out against prohibition? And one of the main reasons is because they'll be called soft on crime, and nobody wants to be soft on crime. Some politicians like Barney Frank and Ron Paul are coming out, which is good, And Gary Johnson, yeah, he will be here
Next Tuesday.
next Tuesday. Make sure you show up for that, because that's he's a very inspirational speaker. He's done so much. So people like that are coming out, but we need more. We need to understand why politicians aren't coming out. And there are a lot of good groups. We have Normal. I'm so glad that you guys are doing this Normal thing, but there's also Students for Sensible Drug Policies, another good student organization. And then you have like Vote Hemp and the Hemp Industries Association. We're working on the whole hemp side of this. So we've got a lot of work to do in the legal area. Got any history majors in here? Cannabis hemp has a huge history. It goes back thousands of years. China, Russia, Europe, they've all used hemp. Egypt, this is an old Egyptian diagram of them processing hemp plants. All the sailing ships in the 1700s, all of the rope and sails was made out of hemp fiber. So it was really, really an integral part of colonial America and in America's history. This is a rope walk. This is a quarter-mile-long building in Boston, in Charlestown, just outside of Boston, at the Navy Yard, Charlestown Navy Yard. And you can sort of see the masts. These are the masts of the Constitution right there. So I'm sure a lot of you have been down there to see the Constitution. You can also walk right over there to that rope walk, and that's where they made rope for over 100 years. And they used a lot of hemp in this rope walk. Right now, that building is not being used for anything, which is sort of sad. It's very sad. But you can study the history of the manufacturing of hemp, how it was used over the years, how important it was to colonial America. And you can also look at art history. This is from the late 1800s, and it shows a hemp plant with cotton, flax, and a couple other fiber plants showing, hey, you know, these are useful plants, and it's not a demon plant or anything like that. So the hemp history, the art history, you can document how cannabis and hemp was shown and used in the past. Hopefully that means we can use it in the future. American history, hemp has a lot of, in addition to the colonial times, in the Civil War, the Battle of Lexington, Missouri, they used hemp bales to push, they had these hemp bales, they pushed them up a hill as sort of a moving barrier to keep from getting shot. And so that was sort of an interesting little battle in the Civil War where they used hemp bales. And Hemp for Victory, which Nick and Jen showed the film a couple nights ago, was in World War II. The Japanese invaded the Philippines. The Philippines at that time was the producer of fiber, manila fiber, which was for string, for rope, and for a lot of string rope, basically. So when the Japanese invaded the Philippines, we needed to grow more hemp. The government said, we need fiber, is what they said. So let's re-legalize hemp just for a few years. They created the Hemp for Victory program, and that's hemp seed. That's enough hemp seed to grow 350,000 acres of hemp. They created this hemp stock in 2 years, and then they grew hemp all throughout the Midwest. This over to the side is one of the hemp processing plants in Minnesota that still stands today, where they process the hemp, where those women I showed earlier worked to process the hemp. And fortunately for us, there's this feral hemp, this wild ditchweed is still growing all over the Midwest. They can't get rid of it. They go out there and they try to dig it up and spend millions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, trying to dig up hemp, basically. And they can't win that fight. Hemp is a very tough plant. Foreign language. Hemp has been used for many years, many cultures, and all these cultures have their own word for cannabis and hemp. So you could study the origins of hemp, study which cultures have, use similar words for hemp or for cannabis. And you can also, look at the Chinese symbol for hemp, which this is basically a little shed, and then these are the hemp plants hanging upside down to dry. So, that's a very logical symbol. And if you